Welcome to this week's Balcony TV Extra with visextra.com. Really excited to have Eyebrow with us this morning. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Matt.
What are you going to play for us?
We're going to play a tune from my new album called SOAPSTONE.
Go for it. Man, what a fantastic noise. I love the noise you guys make. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So people are going to recognise you from 3K Whale because you were down with us. Our highest watched view, I think, show. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Over 100,000 views, I think. Yeah. Fantastic. So tell us about Eyebrow then, Pete, because that's your 5th album release, right?
It is, yeah. We've been going for 9 years, I think, now.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And we're still one of Bristol's best kept secrets, I think. Kind of slightly under the radar. Our biggest gig was actually to 700 people in a ruined castle in Dorset.
Okay.
But usually we play to, 15 people in a shabby bar somewhere in Bristol.
Yeah, well, I caught one of those gigs and it was sold out and it was blown up. It blew me away. So, you're far too modest. Absolutely brilliant. So Strata, how's it sort of evolved then, the sort of sound over those 5 albums?
Well, I think it has changed quite a bit
Yeah.
now. We've introduced violin. Paul, although Paul didn't play violin on this track,
Oh, right.
he does play violin on the album in his own unique way. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yeah, and you also play cymbals with a bow as well. Yeah. It's a very cool visual thing, anyway.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
And we're always trying to find ways of doing more with less. So it sounds a bit like something out of W1A, but
yeah, I know you said that before. Yeah. I mean, you have got looping-wise, you've got a very minimal setup. You know, I know you had even more loopers before last time, but you're actually running through two, right? You're actually layering with two.
Yeah, I've
getting into geek here.
I've got a pedal that's kind of a little bit like a freeze pedal that that just manages to loop a tiny segment of a note.
Okay.
So it's the kind of the least disrupted loop that I've found, because otherwise loops always have the ambient sounds and bits of drums and everything else in it, and that's a great thing. But it's lovely to get something that's a little bit cleaner. So I'm always but I'm equally always trying to reduce the number of pedals that I use. They're a bit of a crutch. Yeah. And I'm trying to.
It's a very minimal setup, for the sound that you get, because I mean you've got the very sort of staccato, very rigid, rhythm section behind you, whereas you're completely fluid. You're all over the place. So how much scope does that give you to sort of just wing it? I mean, surely. I mean, do you? There's quite a bit of winging going on.
It's that's the joy of the band for me. It's the complete opposite of Three Cane Whale,
right?
Because that band, as you know, all the pieces are very through composed.
Yes.
There's no improvisation at all.
Absolutely.
This band, I know I can rely on Paul to keep something utterly hypnotic going with lovely little variations. So I know there's this solid bed behind. And when we first started playing together, we basically established not the rule, but the kind of concept that any loop that the trumpet made would basically be completely ignored by the drums. So we can play, rhythmically. Okay. I can play with Paul when I want to, or against Paul, and just float across him. And what he does just kind of, undercuts and underpins and does a melodic job as well. I think.
But I mean, as a disciplined jazz drummer, which you are you happy with that? Are you happy with that sort of?
Yeah, I mean with the loops, I never, from the very beginning, didn't want to play to loops because it would sound so rigid and gives it more. Sometimes the loops cycle in a completely weird, they come in a different place in the beat every time they go around.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is much more interesting, I think. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Wonderful. Thanks so much. I never tire of your stuff. I was playing your album last night, actually, and my son said, "What's this? This is really out there." And I said, "Yeah, it is really out there.
Great.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Where can we find you online, Pete?
We're at www.eyebrowmusic.com, and we've got a big gig coming up in Bristol, actually, on May the 24th in St George's, supporting Mammal Hands, so that should be a nice one.
That'd be a great gig. Check them out, Eyebrow. Thanks again. With film, of course. We should get a mention in for your with your visuals person.
Kathy Hind, who recently won a Composers Award for Sonic Arts, and she did Radio 4's Tweet of the Day for a week a few weeks ago. Wow. She's an amazing visual artist, and she's going to be projecting some of her fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can vouch for the show. It's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, great.
Thanks again. Eyebrow, check them out. Thanks to our venue, Samuel Jones. See you next time. Cheers.